Have you ever sat in the passenger seat with your parent gripping the wheel, heart racing, silently thinking, I don't know if they should still be driving? You're not alone. Many of us struggle with approaching the delicate conversation about a loved one's safety behind the wheel, and it can feel impossible to know where to start. Today, we're going to tackle this exact challenge head-on. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step roadmap to have this conversation respectfully, empathetically, and effectively, without guilt, anger, or resentment. Welcome to Bridging Conversations, the channel dedicated to helping you master the art of empathetic communication and navigate life's toughest talks. Here, we break down the strategies that turn difficult conversations into opportunities for connection and understanding. If you're ready to gain the confidence to speak up with compassion, hit that subscribe button now and join our community of thoughtful communicators. Before we dive into the steps, let's acknowledge something important. Talking to a parent about their driving is not easy. It can bring up emotions like fear, guilt, frustration, or even defensiveness. And the truth is, most of us avoid the conversation because we don't want to hurt their feelings or risk our relationship. But avoiding it comes with its own consequences. Safety risks, accidents, or ongoing stress every time you get in the car together. In this video, I'll guide you through a practical, step-by-step approach to navigate this sensitive topic with empathy, clarity, and respect. We'll cover everything from preparing yourself emotionally, choosing the right timing, and framing your concerns in a way that feels loving rather than confrontational. I'll also share a personal story about how I had this very conversation with my own parent, what worked and what didn't, so you can see these strategies in real life. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan and the confidence to approach this sensitive topic without fear, guilt, or unnecessary conflict. Let's get started. Step 2. Choose the right time and setting for the conversation. Timing and environment can make or break this discussion. A rushed conversation in the middle of traffic or during a family gathering is almost guaranteed to trigger defensiveness. Instead, choose a moment when both you and your parent are calm, relaxed, and free from distractions. A quiet afternoon at home, over coffee, or during a peaceful walk can create a safer space for honest dialogue. Consider the emotional context. If your parent has just received stressful news, is tired, or feeling unwell, it's not the right moment. Waiting for a time when they are receptive does not mean avoiding the issue. It means respecting their emotional state while setting the stage for a productive conversation. Let me give you an example from my own experience. When I first wanted to talk to my father about his driving, I noticed he was often defensive when rushed. So I invited him to a quiet Saturday morning breakfast, away from phones and errands. I began by expressing appreciation for his independence and driving skills over the years, which immediately lowered his guard. By the time I raised my concerns about slower reaction times, he was more open to listening instead of arguing. The takeaway is clear. The right time and setting turn a potentially confrontational conversation into a dialogue rooted in care and mutual respect. Step 3. Frame your concerns with empathy and specific examples. Once you've prepared yourself and chosen the right setting, the next step is about how you speak. This is where empathy becomes your most powerful tool. Instead of framing your concerns as accusations or ultimatums, communicate them in a way that emphasizes care and shared goals, safety, independence, and quality of life. Start by using I statements rather than you statements. For example, say, I feel worried when I see close calls at intersections, instead of, you're driving dangerously. This subtle shift prevents your parent from feeling attacked and reduces the likelihood of defensiveness. Next, provide specific examples of your concerns. Vague statements like, I'm worried about your driving, can be dismissed. Concrete observations carry more weight and clarity. For instance, last week when we were merging onto the highway, I noticed it took longer than usual to react to the car next to us. It made me worried about your safety and mine. Specificity makes your concern tangible and harder to dismiss. Balance the critique with acknowledgement. Recognize your parents' experience and skill. You might say, "I know you've been driving for decades and have always been careful. That's why I'm bringing this up. It's because I care about your well-being and independence." This approach shows respect and validates their history, which can soften resistance. Here's a real-life anecdote. When I talked to my mother, I started by sharing a memory of how she taught me to drive and how much I respected her skill. Then I gently mentioned the times I'd noticed her missing stop signs or slowing abruptly. By pairing empathy with specific examples, the conversation stayed calm and constructive. She didn't feel attacked. Instead, she appreciated my concern. The key principle here is your tone, choice of words, and specificity determine whether the conversation builds understanding or sparks conflict. Empathy plus concrete examples is your winning formula.
Step 4. Involve professional assessments or neutral third parties. Sometimes, even with careful preparation, choosing the right words, and framing concerns empathetically, a parent may still feel defensive or dismissive. This is where professional assessments or neutral third parties can be incredibly valuable. Having an impartial authority can shift the conversation from personal judgment to objective facts, reducing tension and preserving the relationship. One practical approach is to suggest a driving assessment with a certified instructor or local motor vehicle authority. You might frame it like this: I read about a driving assessment that helps experienced drivers stay safe and independent. It could give both of us some peace of mind. This positions the evaluation as a positive tool rather than a punishment or threat. Family meetings can also help. If siblings or close relatives share your concern, involving them in a supportive, non-accusatory way can make your parent feel that the discussion is about care, not confrontation. For instance, you could plan a casual conversation with everyone expressing concern respectfully, focusing on safety and shared experiences rather than blame. Here's a personal example. When I noticed my father's reaction slowing, he initially dismissed my concerns. I suggested a voluntary evaluation at a local driving school. Framing it as an opportunity to reinforce his skills rather than expose weaknesses made him more receptive. After the assessment, the instructor provided objective feedback, highlighting areas for improvement, which he accepted more readily than if I had said the same thing myself. The key takeaway is that neutral, professional input can validate your concerns without damaging your relationship. It also shifts the focus from "you're unsafe" to "let's work together to ensure safety," which is far easier for a parent to accept. Step 5. Collaboratively explore alternative options. Once you've established a calm, empathetic dialogue and possibly involved a neutral professional, the next step is to explore alternatives together rather than imposing restrictions. The goal is to protect safety while preserving independence and dignity. Start by brainstorming options that meet your parents' needs. These could include limiting driving to daytime hours, avoiding highways, using ride shares for longer trips, or transitioning gradually to public transportation. Present these as choices, not mandates. For example, what if we tried using a ride share for longer trips while you continue driving locally? This way, you can stay independent, but reduce risk. Encourage your parent to voice their preferences and concerns. This collaborative approach fosters ownership and reduces resistance. If they feel involved in the decision-making, they're more likely to accept changes willingly without feeling forced. Before we proceed, if you're finding real value in learning how to navigate tough conversations, then you're going to love what we've put together for you. It's called the Difficult Dialogue Toolkit Workbook, your hands-on guide to mastering communication in the moments that matter most. Inside, you'll find practical exercises, reflection prompts, and step-by-step frameworks designed to help you handle conflicts, give feedback effectively, and turn tension into trust, whether at work, at home, or in your relationships. Think of it as your personal roadmap to calm, confident, and constructive conversations, no matter how challenging they get. You can grab your copy right now using the link in the description below. Now, let's continue from where we left off. Step 7. Reinforce safety without damaging the relationship. After discussing concerns, exploring alternatives, and handling pushback, the next step is to reinforce the importance of safety while protecting your relationship. The goal is to ensure your parent understands that these conversations come from love, not control. One effective strategy is to focus on shared values. Emphasize that safety is about preserving freedom, independence, and quality of life. For example, I want you to continue enjoying your independence for as long as possible. Taking a few precautions now helps ensure that. Framing safety in terms of empowerment rather than restriction helps reduce feelings of judgment. Another technique is positive reinforcement. Recognize and praise any steps your parent takes towards safer driving habits. Even small changes, like agreeing to drive only in daylight, deserve acknowledgement. Saying, "I appreciate you taking this step. It really shows your commitment to staying safe," reinforces collaboration and maintains respect. Introduce ongoing check-ins. Safety is not a one-time conversation, but an ongoing dialogue. Set a schedule for gentle check-ins, perhaps monthly, to discuss driving experiences, any challenges, or adjustments to plans. For example, "Let's chat next week about how the new driving plan is working for you." This maintains open communication without pressure. Here's a personal example. After my mother agreed to limit her driving to short trips, I made it a point to compliment her when she followed the plan. I also suggested small discussions about her experiences, like navigating traffic or using rideshare. By acknowledging her efforts and keeping communication open, our conversation stayed constructive and our relationship strengthened rather than strained. The key takeaway is that reinforcing safety with empathy, positivity, and ongoing dialogue protects both your parent and your relationship, making the difficult conversation part of a supportive process rather than a confrontation. Step 8. Create a practical transition plan. Even after a parent accepts that some changes are necessary, it's critical to have a concrete, practical plan to implement those changes gradually. This ensures safety while giving your parent a sense of control and independence. Start by breaking down the plan into manageable steps. For example, you might begin with limiting driving to familiar routes during daylight, then gradually introduce alternatives like rideshare for longer trips. Having a clear sequence helps your parent adjust without feeling forced. Include checkpoints and milestones. These are moments to evaluate how well the plan is working and to adjust if needed. For instance, after 2 weeks of short trips only, you might review together. How comfortable do you feel with this approach? Are there any challenges we need to address? This makes the transition collaborative. Consider backup options and contingency plans. Discuss what to do if unexpected situations arise, such as nighttime errands or long-distance trips, so your parent feels supported rather than restricted. For example, if you need to go somewhere farther than usual, we can plan a rideshare or have someone accompany you. Here's an illustrative story. When my father agreed to limit his driving, we created a simple plan together. He would drive locally during daylight and avoid highways. For longer trips, we arranged rideshare services. We also scheduled weekly check-ins to review how he was feeling. This plan gave him independence while keeping safety at the forefront. Over time, he even expressed relief that there was a structured approach, reducing anxiety for both of us. The key principle is that a practical, step-by-step transition plan transforms abstract concerns into actionable solutions, making your parent feel involved, respected,
and safe. Step 9. Encourage continued independence in other areas. Even when a parent agrees to limit or stop driving, it's essential to support their independence in other areas of life. Losing the ability to drive can feel like a loss of freedom. So reinforcing autonomy elsewhere helps preserve dignity and emotional well-being. Encourage activities that allow them to maintain control over daily life, such as planning errands, managing household tasks, or scheduling social outings. For instance, if they can no longer drive to the grocery store, involve them in creating the shopping list, choosing the route, or deciding which rideshare option to use. This keeps them active and engaged, rather than feeling sidelined. Technology can also help maintain independence. Teach them to use rideshare apps, grocery delivery services, or online banking so they can continue handling their own responsibilities. Present these tools as empowering rather than restrictive. For example, using this app means you can choose your rides whenever you want without relying on anyone else. Here's an example from my experience. After my mother reduced her driving, I encouraged her to take charge of planning family visits, scheduling errands, and organizing activities with friends. I also showed her how to use rideshare apps on her phone. She quickly adapted, felt a renewed sense of independence, and appreciated that her mobility wasn't completely lost. This approach prevented resentment and reinforced that the conversation about driving came from care, not control. The key takeaway is that supporting independence in other areas softens the emotional impact of limiting driving, strengthens your relationship, and ensures your parent continues to feel capable and valued. Step 10. Maintain ongoing communication and review. The conversation about your parents' driving isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Maintaining open communication ensures safety, builds trust, and reinforces that your concern comes from love rather than control. Start by scheduling regular check-ins. They don't have to be formal or intimidating. Casual conversations during coffee or a walk can work. Ask questions like, "How do you feel about driving this week?" or "Did anything feel uncomfortable while you were on the road?" This creates a safe space for your parent to share experiences, concerns, or challenges. Encourage honest feedback. Let your parent know they can express discomfort or frustration without fear of judgment. This openness allows you to adjust the plan together if needed, maintaining collaboration rather than conflict. For example, if you ever feel unsafe or unsure while driving, let's talk about alternatives so you feel confident. Track progress and adjustments over time. Celebrate improvements, such as successfully following the new driving limits, and revisit areas that might need additional support. This helps your parent feel a sense of accomplishment and reinforces that changes are manageable and positive. Here's a real-world example. After my father implemented his driving plan, we set weekly conversations to discuss how it was going. He could openly share moments of discomfort, like feeling tired on longer trips, and we adjusted the plan accordingly. This ongoing communication prevented misunderstandings, strengthened our trust, and allowed him to maintain independence while staying safe. The key takeaway is that ongoing communication turns a difficult conversation into a continuous partnership, ensuring safety, preserving independence, and keeping your relationship strong over time. I want to pause here and share a personal story that really changed how I approach these conversations. A few years ago, I noticed my mother's driving was becoming risky. She missed stop signs, hesitated at intersections, and once nearly sidewiped a parked car. My initial instinct was panic and frustration. I remember thinking, I can't let her drive anymore. This is dangerous. The first time I brought it up, I wasn't prepared. I blurted out, "Mom, I don't think you should drive anymore." She got defensive immediately, saying, "I've been driving for decades. I don't need you telling me what to do." The conversation ended in tension, and I felt guilty for days because I hadn't approached it with care or empathy. I realized I needed a new approach. I prepared myself emotionally, picked a calm weekend morning, and started by acknowledging her experience and independence. I shared specific examples of near misses I had observed and expressed genuine concern for her safety and mine. I also suggested a voluntary driving assessment as a neutral third-party perspective.
To my surprise, she responded positively. Framing the conversation as a shared concern rather than criticism made all the difference. Over time, we developed a gradual plan. She limited driving to daytime and familiar routes, used ride shares for longer trips, and we scheduled regular check-ins. By handling the conversation with empathy, patience, and a practical roadmap, not only did we protect her safety, but our relationship actually grew stronger. This story reminds me, and I want you to remember, that difficult conversations don't have to fracture relationships. With preparation, empathy, and a clear plan, you can navigate even the most sensitive topics while preserving trust and respect. To wrap up, let's review the essential steps for having a difficult conversation with a parent about their driving. 1. Prepare yourself emotionally and mentally so you approach the conversation from a place of care, not frustration. 2. Choose the right time and setting to ensure your parent is receptive and calm. 3. Frame your concerns with empathy and specific examples to reduce defensiveness and make your points clear. 4. Involve professional assessments or neutral third parties to validate your concerns objectively. 5. Collaboratively explore alternative options that maintain safety while preserving independence. 6. Handle resistance and emotional pushback with patience, validation, and reflective listening. 7. Reinforce safety without damaging the relationship through positivity and shared values. 8. Create a practical transition plan with clear steps, milestones, and backup options. 9. Encourage continued independence in other areas to preserve dignity and autonomy. 10. Maintain ongoing communication and review to ensure safety, trust, and collaboration over time. Remember, approaching this conversation with empathy, preparation, and a practical roadmap doesn't just protect your parents' safety, it can actually strengthen your relationship. Difficult conversations are never easy, but they become manageable when handled thoughtfully, respectfully, and with love.
If today's episode helped you see conversations in a new light, imagine what could happen if you had a full toolkit in your hands, one that guides you through every difficult dialogue life throws your way. That's exactly what the Difficult Dialogue Toolkit workbook was created for. It's more than just a workbook. It's your communication companion, packed with exercises, scripts, and mindset tools that transform anxiety into confidence and conflict into connection. Thousands of people are already using it to strengthen their relationships, lead better at work, and finally say what needs to be said with empathy and impact. So if you're serious about becoming a better communicator, click the link in the description right now and get your copy today. Don't just listen. Start practicing the skills that change conversations and change lives. Thank you for watching Bridging Conversations, where we turn hard talks into healing talks. Until next time, keep bridging, keep growing, and keep the dialogue going.